Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Frank Mularcik, and in this video we're going to be talking about my work with my Raspberry Pi and how that's been going. And I want to kind of tie this into the Bitcoin trading bot that I originally started working on back in the spring. I ran into kind of some roadblocks there that I was hoping eventually the Raspberry Pi would solve. And it's just been a little bit slower than I anticipated getting going with the Raspberry Pi. It's been super interesting and I've learned a ton from it, and I have some cool stuff to show you guys, so let's get right into it. So right now what we're looking at is the screen on my Raspberry Pi, and I have that set up on a monitor over to my left here, so that's why I'll be looking off to that side periodically. And I also want to apologize for the sound quality. I know it's a tad bit echoey in here. This is just in my apartment room sort of, because that's where I have my Raspberry Pi set up, and I did want to screen record some of this to show you guys what I'm doing on there. So I do have to record this in here, so it is a bit more echoey than normal, so I apologize for that. But right now we're just in the terminal, and one of the first things I want to talk about that I've been doing is I've actually started generating some scripts that I've been putting towards my YouTube channel and investing. So I have two basic things going on there, and both of them are basically running with the Crontab. And basically what the Crontab is it allows you to schedule scripts or pretty much any job that you want done. So in the terminal here, we just type Crontab E. It opens up this file, and basically at the bottom here I have set up these jobs. You can see that I want the basic Python environment to execute. So these numbers here at the beginning are to sort of specify to cron exactly when I want these commands to run. So I have two basic commands here. The first two are for posting things to my Twitter page. So if you guys aren't following me on Twitter, make sure to go follow me. I will definitely leave the link down below. And basically what I do is I just have these set up so that a few minutes after I post a video, this will go in here and it will, go onto my YouTube page with a Python script. It will, copy the URL for the video. It will download the thumbnail, and then it will post a little bit of a thing on Twitter, just saying, hey, go check out my video with, a picture of the thumbnail there and the link to the video, so that people can go click on that and watch the video. So most of my videos right now I'm keeping on a pretty strict schedule, are 9 a.m. on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So basically what I did here is I set it up to run this script about my Twitter, or to post on my Twitter at 9:05 a.m. on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So there's right here it shows the month, hour. So these numbers are the month, or sorry, the minute, the hour, and then the day of the month, the month, and then the day of the week. So in the case of this first one, I have it set at the 5th minute of the 9th hour, so that's 9:05 a.m. And then the day of the month and the month number, I don't care, so that star just means all of them. And then day of the week 2, so the day of, or the week starts at Sunday, is the 0th day, so Monday, Tuesday would be the 2nd day. And then it's telling it to execute a Python script, and it's at this directory, and then it's saying to put any errors to this log file here. And then the next one is pretty much the same, except it's telling it to do the 6th day of the week, which is Saturday. So that's what that one does. And then the second scripts I have are for updating some info in my portfolio spreadsheet. So I do have made some videos on that in the past, which you can definitely check out. But basically some of the info from my spreadsheet, I can't get straight from a Google Finance call. So basically what I do is I gather it through a Yahoo Finance API in Python, and then I send it over to the Google Sheet to be updated. So what I have here is this is going to update both my brother's spreadsheet and my spreadsheet basically every day at 10 o'clock p.m. So it's the 0th minute and the 22nd hour, which is 10 p.m. And then every day of the week, every month, and every day of the month, it's going to execute these scripts and basically update that information in my spreadsheet. So that is what we have there with the Crontab. And then the other thing I've been exploring is just running Python scripts in the terminal. And there's a way you can do that. And basically the command you use is no hup. So basically what that does is it puts it, sort of in a separate terminal process, so that when you close the terminal, it does not, stop that script from running. Because normally if you run just a regular Python script in the terminal and then you close the terminal, well, that Python script is going to be done. So I can do like no hup and then Python 3, and then I say like my script.py, and then you put this little and symbol at the end, and that also tells it, to keep the script running after the terminal is closed. So that's just an example of what I would type. And then basically what I can do is I can do this PSE command, and that basically shows all the processes that are running on this Raspberry Pi right now. And the one we're going to look at is 12,017, and that says it's Python, and that is basically one of these scripts that I started running probably 30 minutes ago maybe. And basically what this one is doing is it's just doing some endurance testing, just to make sure that this is running continuously. And the reason I want to do that is when I get my Bitcoin bot up and running. I've had it up and running a little bit on the Raspberry Pi, but I just have had some problems, especially since moving back to the university. The Wi-Fi has been just major issues for little side projects I'm trying to do. So that has been one thing after another, basically because of all the security they have behind their Wi-Fi. It's been a pain. So right now I'm actually not connected to the Wi-Fi. I just had to buy a really long Ethernet cable and connect it to the Ethernet over on the other side of the room, and that seems to be working. But I just want to make sure that we don't have any downtime, because for those Crontab scripts, it really doesn't matter as much. It only really needs to be connected to the internet at those exact intervals, at 9:05 on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and then at 10 p.m. every day. So if for some reason it's disconnecting at a certain time that's not one of those, I want to be aware of that. So I just have this test script running, and basically what it does is it's just going to put let's see, sometimes there's a problem opening it. Yeah, so it is just putting little dates in here in my spreadsheet, and sometimes the Raspberry Pi is annoying here, but it keeps wanting to scroll over. But as you can see, it's every minute it's updating the date, and just putting it into this spreadsheet, and then I can go back and just check and see that everything's working fine, and that nothing is stopping at any point. And sometimes it just the interface is not the most advanced. It's more for programming and stuff like that, so the interface is not the best, and it often has some little bugs. But overall, that's what I'm doing. And eventually, once I'm sure of this endurance capabilities, once I'm sure that over the long time this is just going to keep running, and I also want to test the length limits of the Google Sheets, because I think they start with a default length of only 1,000, and I'm not exactly sure how that works. So if you're in a Python script and you try to add on to row 1001, is it going to expand the spreadsheet, or is it just going to give an error and say there's no row there? So I want to play around with things like that as well. And once I have those kind of things figured out, then I'll be able to get my tests back up and running that are testing the various strategies of my trading strategy. Basically, I have a few strategies. I have them all the scripts sort of on the Python or Raspberry Pi, sorry. Pretty much all the scripts are on the Raspberry Pi right now, but I just need to test them out, and I'm gonna want to run some tests over a few weeks, probably maybe even a few months, to see how those go. So right now it's just working on this endurance test to make sure that's all working, and then once that is working, I will start those scripts running with the actual paper trading strategy going, and see how that goes. So if you have any questions, definitely let me know in the comments below. I'll try to leave some links to some of these videos right up here that I did reference in this video, and thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one.